Peter became an actor. As his fame spread abroad, his kinsmen grew jealous and plotted to kill him. Eventually, they invited him over for dinner, hosting a grand party to celebrate his achievements. They prepared a big roasted catfish, garnished with salad, plantain, and his favorite, palm wine. A variety of dishes were prepared in his honor. It was a lavish celebration. Peter, unsuspecting, ate and drank heartily. His kinsmen were thrilled that someone had finally brought their family into the limelight. However, their joy was short-lived. Peter's success was abruptly cut short by his untimely death. The cause was unknown. Before he died, a little girl had warned him not to eat anything at the event, claiming she saw someone adding a strange substance to the food. He ignored her warning. Later that night, some of his kinsmen escorted him to his hotel room. As he entered, he clutched his chest, crying and shouting in pain. He began coughing up blood, collapsed, and died. In his final moments, he realized the little girl had been right. Looking at his kinsmen in agony, he cursed his family. No female child would ever live to his age, they would all die young. He uttered this curse in anger and pain, unaware that it would come to pass. The kinsmen stood by and watched him die. They quickly took his body, buried him in a black coffin, and threw it into a river to erase all traces of their crime. That was how Peter disappeared entirely. His family searched tirelessly but eventually gave up and held a small burial ceremony. Life was never the same again. His sudden disappearance shook the family to its core. The curse took effect. It began with the death of Peter's mother, followed by the wives of his kinsmen. The deaths continued, but no one suspected they were linked to Peter's murder. 55 years later, Adam, who had been a year old at the time of Peter's death, was now 56 and still unmarried. He had married 7 times, but none of his wives survived. Tired of losing loved ones and wasting resources, he refused to become a womanizer or father children out of wedlock. Each wife died from childbirth, illness, minor accidents, or simply passed away in their sleep. The curse affected others too. Some men feared marriage. Others, though of marriageable age, refused to wed. They preferred to father male children out of wedlock, believing only male children would survive. Even adopted female children died. Adam had a female friend named Agnes, who loved him deeply. Despite his age, she pressured him to marry her. He refused, but after sharing his family's tragic history, she vowed to stand by him and uncover the root of their misfortune. They began investigating and traveled to the village to question the elders. The elders denied any knowledge, suggesting perhaps the gods were angry. Adam and Agnes then visited their pastor, who revealed the truth about Peter's murder. The pastor advised them to find Peter's body, give him a proper burial, seek God's mercy, and hold a family thanksgiving. Adam returned to the village and, in anger, arrested the sons of the kinsman responsible for Peter's death, including his close brother Jude. Agnes informed the pastor, and together they returned to the village to reason with Adam. They urged him to forgive, explaining that the sins of the fathers had affected everyone. It was time for unity and healing. Adam, still angry, asked Pastor Ferdinand how people could be so cruel over money. Eventually, he released the prisoners, and the family united to search for Peter's body. But where would they begin? The pastor encouraged them to pray for divine direction. After a month of prayer, Adam received a revelation about the body's location. They traveled at night to the location due to local unrest. The place was called the Field of Lotus, with a river behind it that had become a refuse dump due to a land dispute. The court had awarded the land to another community, and the original owners abandoned it. Divers were hired to search the river, but they found nothing. Feeling helpless, they reported back to the pastor, who reinterpreted the revelation. They approached the new landowners and informed the king of their mission. The king said if the coffin wasn't found, they were searching in the wrong place. 2 weeks later, the king called. Someone had recovered a black coffin from the river 55 years ago. Adam traveled alone to examine it. He recognized the skeleton's clothing from his vision. The man who found the coffin had seen blue and red smoke rising from it while contemplating suicide in the river. Thinking it was treasure, he opened it, found the skeleton, and took valuables like a necklace and wristwatch. He sold them and became the richest man in the community. That man was Dick's father. He had kept the coffin, believing the man inside was a wealthy victim whose death had brought him fortune. He buried the coffin in his compound, awaiting someone to claim it. He showed them a flyer of Peter's last movie, The Dark Mystical Secret, found in the coffin. Adam knelt by the coffin and wept. "This man's death caused so much pain in my family," he said. He apologized and recovered the body. 2 months later, they widely publicized Peter's burial. It lasted a month and was conducted with great honor. They followed the pastor's instructions, sought mercy, and held a family thanksgiving. The curse was lifted. Adam married Agnes, and they were blessed with triplets, 2 girls and a boy. Gradually, the family began to have female children again.